notified?
Yes, ma'am. We're just finishing liaising with them a moment ago. They set up a cordon around the entire facility.
Good. Oh, the first blemish on a prison spotter's reputation is always the ugliest.
It won't happen again, ma'am. A rather different Warden Lagarde to the one we've seen so far.
Mr. Edgeworth, was it? I really can't thank you enough for finding that tunnel, darling. Sadly, it may have been too little too late. It seems you might have already left the building.
I'd say that's unlikely, Warden. After all, there's a security gate at the exit of the detention centre. You're not suggesting you simply walked through it.
What's to say there was only one tunnel, sweetie?
I suppose that's true.
Whatever the case, there's no time to be standing around chit-chatting. Mr. Edgeworth, would you mind continuing with your investigation?
It would be my pleasure.
You three can get back to your posts.
Yes, ma'am. Detective, the results of the blood test came back from the lab.
Thanks, pal. Let's see what they have to tell us about the blood found in I's cell.
What does it say, Mr. Edgeworth?
They've identified the blood and it's Knight's.
Nice job, everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh? We got Knight's blood in his holding cell, a tunnel a dog clearly went through, and security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog in his cell. Case closed.
With all the evidence we need, let's see what Mr. Canis has to say for himself.
Canis? Oh, darlings, are you sure? Do be careful around him, won't you? He's as well connected on the outside as he is in here.
I suppose he would have to be. How else would he be the so-called fixer stay in business?
The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. I even had to lend them a hand myself, you know.
So that's what that was all about. Still not talking, ma'am? Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct?
No, I've tried so many times I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send a blank report.
I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct?
Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel to my office to talk to me. No matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word.
A prison warden conducting interrogations herself? That's irregular to say the least.
Let your guard down, he'll devour you whole. Be careful, darlings, you've been warned.
Ooh, weird. Here I thought things couldn't get any spicier. Oh no.
Judge Cavell, I didn't expect to find you here.
We've been conducting inquiries, which, given that we're in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange, you're still here, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave you a warning, did I not? I told you your badge was at risk should our paths cross again, and yet here you are.
I'm sorry you thought I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honour, but I'm not about to let the truth slip from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. I'm here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourself should have uncovered.
You have more business for me, I take it, Mr. Edgeworth.
I do. I promised I'd be back to prove to you that you were the killer, and here I am.
This should be amusing. Well, whenever you're ready.
Not so fast! We have the truths of our own to share. First-rate deductions at that.
Indeed. We are now more certain than ever that Simon Saint was the murderer. And that only he could have been Mr. Knight from his holding cell at the prison proper. Shall we prove this to you beyond a shadow of a doubt? But first, a question. Are you quite determined to continue this course, Mr. Edgeworth? Should you fail to rebut our deductions, there will be no going back. Your very career hangs in the balance.
You mean you'll take his badge if you don't like how this goes? That's intimidation.
Not at all. If anything, I'm showing him mercy. This is not Mr. Edgeworth's case. It never was. I'm under no obligation to hear him out. If he's prepared to accept the potential ramifications of his actions, I will allow him one last chance. Well, are you truly willing to take the risk? To put your beloved badge on the line? Mr. Edgeworth.
Sir. I accept your terms. I am confident of my reasoning, and what's more, I am representing the firm of Edgeworth and Co. I do not intend to besmirch its name. My duty will be done, and I will not be intimidated.
Very well. Let's see whether you're brave or reckless. By the power vested in me by the almighty goddess of justice, let this judgment commence. Eustace, if you'll allow me.
Fine by me. He's all yours, Gavel.
You're aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume? He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his key. Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. It's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage, and there he hid as he was wheeled out into the prison workshops.
We figured she was going to bring up Mr. Saint going to Knight's cell.
Yesterday, after you kindly made us aware of the security camera footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. Perhaps you'd like to see what we found. This is a still from the footage we received. Mr. Saint speaking with Knight at his cell.
Oops. Mr. Saint speaking with Knight at his cell.
Correct. You will also note that he's positioned the cage in a way to obscure the camera's view. This is a blind spot Mr. Knight exploited in order to enter the cage undetected. A sound deduction based on what we can be observed, wouldn't you say?
A blind spot, which means the camera wouldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage if he did at all. It's possible he didn't actually leave the cell at this point.
I don't get it. Why would Mr. Knight want to hide in the cage? There's really only one possibility. He intended to escape. A prison break? That's so cool. Mr. Costaretto, Mr. Knight, everybody's doing it. I have to step up my game.
Okay, now's really not the time. Mr. Castelletto's escape is no laughing matter.
It's my belief Mr. Saint helped Mr. Knight with his escape attempt. That is to say, he was his accomplice. Wow, go Simone.
That wasn't a compliment.
I understand the cage was briefly taken to one of the workshops. I imagine that had things gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show, then removed himself the premises along with the rest of the circus equipment. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, Mr. Saint had other ideas and killed his friend in cold blood.
Judge Gavel's argument seems reasonable, but there must be a fault in her logic somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
Hold it!
Your Honour, about this incident.
You've heard about it, of course. Surely any attorney worth his salt would have his sources.
Yes, I'm aware of it, of course. I simply wished...
You're wasting both our time. Shall we continue?
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys?
I can think of no reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regains consciousness, I'm sure we can confirm our suspicions.
I wouldn't be so sure. Perhaps I should press a further on her reasoning. Sorry, but I believe there's a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, There was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely.
He chose the option deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, waiting for an opportunity for the opportune moment to present itself.
He hid the keys? I'm afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honour, but Knight wasn't hiding any keys. This has been proven already. This is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have any keys.
Take that!
Since you know about the incident, I assume you must already know this, but after the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell and no keys were found. If the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, neither can your theory.
I consider the matter of the missing keys. I do not think it's such an issue. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chest set.
Nice chest set. The same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden.
Was it? I can't help but wonder that. You're the one who proposed it. Actually, if you recall, it was Eustace's assertion.
So the two of them aren't of one mind on this, I take it.
Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guard inside his chest set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open his cell and climb inside the cage. He was then removed from his holding cell that workshop in the prison proper. With the help of his friend and accomplice, had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard.
Objection!
Mr. Saint was part of that performance. How would he have had time to commit the murder?
How indeed? Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday's show is one such example.
She's done her homework, I see.
The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine.
He's sent flying by the elephants.
Isn't that dangerous? When being ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes.
You're saying the crime took place during this time?
I'm afraid so. After all, it's more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say?
Committing the crime and returning to the stage in a short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honour, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell.
I seem to remember telling you I would not accept that part of the security footage into evidence.
And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind.
Very well, will you be so good as to present it? What proof do you have the murder took place in the victim's holding cell?
Take that!
This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty Goddess of Justice, grant me patience.
The floor you're so dismissive of, Your Honour, has traces of Knight's blood on it.
Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensics operatives.
I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one.
The detective. How very unfortunate for him. Perhaps before you decide to circumvent the law, you might have considered the committee's influence extends to the police. Oh no, now Gammy's badge is on the line too.
Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well.
I'll enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into evidence. However... Bad luck, idiots! You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless.
Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted.
I just wanted in to tell you your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us the camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before it left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can it do? A blood-wiping dog? You're a joke.
You'd have wiped the blood up, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmet, yes you would.
What?
That's one of the tricks I taught him before our work together was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence after all.
Saved by an assassin of all people.
Jeez Louise, you're gonna just taught the little guy to shake hands? He does that marvellously too. Although the way I told him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First he bites down hard on the victim's hand, then...
La 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 la, I'm not listening. I see. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. You may have gathered some evidence worth considering.
Your understanding's much appreciated.
Wait, I'm not done yet. I've thought of something else. Overruled.
Oh boy, somebody's taking no prisoners.
Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me? All yours, Gabelle.
Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell, and the assassin's dog was the killer.
My position is the same as it was yesterday. Until you can explain how the dog moved between the prison cell and the detention centre, I cannot accept your theory into evidence.
I thought you might say that, which is why I'd like to show you something else. This piece of evidence showed how the dog could freely travel between the prison and the detention centre.
Take that!
This is...
It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison.
What? Secret passageway?
It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Corasetto, escapee. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention centre. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held.
This is certainly a surprise. The thing was beneath our feet this entire time.
Mr. Canis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder.
In the name of the goddess of justice, overruled, Mr. Edgeworth, you are out of line.
How so, Your Honour?
Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or the scene of an investigation. Isn't that your little catchphrase? It just so happens I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report.
His autopsy report?
When did you get that?
How do you not know you had it?
The police handed it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it has something of value to tell us nonetheless. The goddess of justice speaks to us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat. The weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in a very ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. Its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It was a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue with your flight of fancy? Or will you now claim the dog used a knife instead?
But that's impossible!
That will be all. This court is adjourned.
The tunnel, the paw prints!
What of them? Helmet's something of a wanderer. Perhaps you just happened to cross this tunnel one day. Though I couldn't say for certain, I myself cannot wander quite so freely.
That would be quite a coincidence, but I can't prove it's not the case either.
He sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish you'd kicked us in the teeth a little earlier with that.
She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with the autopsy report. And I fell for it hook, line and sinker.
You are the lead attorney for the defence, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim autopsy report in question. I do apologise for the delay.
Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for hooking us up. Yep, all checks out. Yep.
Mr. Fender, a handshake's not necessary when receiving official court documents, you know. Please feel free to let go of my hand. It's not a holy relic after all.
Just trying to be friendly, Your Honour.
Had you lingered a moment longer, the goddess of justice would have spoken to you through my gavel.
Alright, I got it.
Nice work, Cavell. Just like we planned it. I only did as you instructed, Eustace, but thank you.
This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But if the dog didn't kill Knight, then that takes Canis out of the running.
The goddess of justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells you might yet keep your badge if you finally abandon this fruitless quest.
What's our move, sir? I think she really means it this time.
What do you think, Detective? My answer remains the same, Judge Cavell. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated.
Even with how things stand, you still refuse to concede. This may very well be your last chance. Your badge hangs by a thread.
Let it fall if it must. I have something far more important to protect than an associate attorney. My client.
The goddess of justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy.
Attaboy, Miles, that's what I like to see. Looks like the defence of arrest is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He was the one who said it first.
My father.
I could swear I saw Gregory's spirit in you for a second there. You said you changed your days in Von Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to.
Thank you, Fender.
Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Put your thinking caps on, it's make or break time. If it's true that Knight was off with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart?
A bladed weapon. Of course. There were 5 chisels in Canis' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murder with a tool like that. In which case, the weapon that killed Knight was...
Have you quite finished, or would it be in your best interest to concede?
Evidence is everything. It may well be my little catchphrase, but it's also true. The murder weapon was a sharp blade. Where is it? The guards didn't find it.
Why can't you let this go? So what if they can't find it? What are you driving at?
What if I were to tell you I know what the real murder weapon was? It was right under our noses the whole time. Indeed. It was one of Mr. Canis' chisels.
What?
Overruled.
I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible half-baked theories, Mr. Edgeworth. You have repeatedly insisted Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog.
I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and at the scene of the crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then yes, the murder could have murderer could not have been the dog. That begs the question of what exactly it was we saw in the security footage.
Oh yeah, the security footage. How to explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
An excellent question. The footage shows Mr. Canis' dog jumping up at night. The dog attacked Knight but didn't kill the man.
He didn't?
No, Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag the corpse through the tunnel, he dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master.
I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Canis could finish the job.
He could definitely use one of his chills to do it.
Correct. You, Buddy Harmer Canis, you're the only one who could have done it.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this on your report card? Refuses to listen, must learn to respect others.
Are you asking me or confessing to what's on yours?
We already searched Mr. Canis' cell from top to bottom, right, Gavel? Yes, we even inspected his chisels, all 4 of them. There wasn't a single speck of blood.
Hold it!
Why, thank you, Your Honour. You just confirmed my theory.
I have? What exactly do you mean?
Last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4.
Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5.
And the one that's missing is...
The small one. The one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Canis, where did you hide that chisel?
a pocket chisel. What use might I have for such a thing? I'm rarely allowed to leave my cell.
In which case, he shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Canis.
You seem to have an idea what this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us?
For a man who can't leave the cell on his own volition, Canis could have only have hidden the chisel here.
Take that!
Mr. Canis is still a prisoner despite the comfort he enjoys. He's rarely allowed out of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere, but that would have been far from ideal. You have no way of guaranteeing where it might end up.
Intriguing. Do go on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Furthermore, his room is the one place where a blade instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting? A fact he took full advantage of.
The old keep the incriminating evidence close routine. Classic.
But I looked! I searched the whole cell myself, and there's nowhere he could have hidden it.
I'm certain the murder weapon is here, and the reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner.
Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan?
Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot you could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What were you missing?
He's not showing us out permanently, right?
Let's get out of here, come on.
The dog, he hasn't made a sound today. When he was here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Canis even encouraged him to do so. That must be it. I knew something was off. I can hardly believe it, but I think I know where he hid the murder weapon.
Giving up already? I expected more of you, Mr. Edgeworth.
As well you should. If you would give me a moment, this piece of evidence shows where you hid the murder weapon.
Take that!
Your dog, he seems unusually quiet today.
Oh yeah, unlike last time when... Mr. Canis, if you'd be so kind as to open Helmet's mouth.
Oh, come now, he hasn't barked because he's a well-behaved boy. I had to order him to last time.
Then order him again this instant.
It's not like we're asking for the world, Mr. Canis. Or do you have something to hide?
If you insist. Come on, Helmet, open up.
And there we have it. A chisel that small was easy enough for the dog of this size to...
What? A chisel in a dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog?
I thought he'd been strangely quiet. I guess his brain finally caught up.
Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call forensics? Tell him it's urgent. Okay.
Our findings were as follows. Trace of blood detected on the chisel.
What?
Not such a half-baked theory after all, was it?
We're on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah?
The forensic evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede this was most likely the case. Mr. Canis, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands you explain yourself.
We found the route your dog took back to the holding cells, and now we have the chisel. How do you propose to talk your way out of this one?
You never fail to entertain, Mr. Edgeworth.
Why does he always laugh like that, even when it's not funny?
Poor Helmet. How could they suspect us? You leave me little choice. I'll simply have to share with you the truth. I did not kill anyone. I've grown tired of killing.
Something's not right. Why is he so calm?
Very well. The court will hear Mr. Canis' testimony. If you'd be so kind.
Gladly. Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him, no connection whatsoever. Given this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? Could it be you're suggesting it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? Helmet only bears his fangs when I tell him to. I'm not so bloodthirsty I would kill a man I did not know.
I mean, when he puts it that way.
An assassin who only kills his acquaintances? Not the soundest business model, I agree.
My work required me to deal with strangers, of course, but murder for its own sake? Not my style.
So I need to prove a link between Knight and Canis. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover.
Hold it!
I'm puzzled by this focus on motive. Aren't you an assassin?
Assassin or not, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't spill blood for nothing. Neither in a professional nor private capacity. That's just not how it's done. Is it, boy? No, it's not. I never knew this knight.
Hold it!
You didn't know who he was? That's quite unlike you, Mr. Canis.
You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. Perhaps you had a hard time putting me in here than I realised. I'm no master criminal.
That said, you're no run-of-the-mill prisoner either. You're the fixer, correct? I find it hardly unlikely that a man in such a position would have no knowledge of the new detainee at all.
You've rather inflated idea of my position. I have connections, yes, but I'm not all-knowing. I knew nothing of Mr. Knight.
Hold it!
You're an assassin. Since when have you needed a motive?
He's a strange man, isn't he, Helmet?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Is he a fool? A genius? So I'd say. Drop the act, Mr. Canis, and answer the question.
No, you'll answer mine. Who am I, Mr. Edgeworth? Am I the very same person you caught? An assassin? A murderer for hire? Were I one to kill without rhyme or reason? Would I still be free to recite sutras in the peace out here?
Hold it!
Of course not, but your dog was trained to kill.
What is this man talking about, Helmet? Why would I say such awful things about you? He's a silly man, is what he is. Yes, he is.
Perhaps he killed the wrong person. That would explain the lack of motive.
Do your precious police dogs attack people willy-nilly? Have some respect, Mr. Edgeworth. If you're going to accuse Helmet of something, at least show us some evidence to back up your claims.
I would if I had any.
Hold it!
Then you must have done so, didn't you? You ordered Knight to death.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you have to try harder than that. Have you forgotten what I just said? I did not know Mr. Knight. Don't even know the name. If you're going to insist otherwise, at least you can do is show some sort of proof. He must show some proof, mustn't he, Helmet? Yes, he must.
Whether it was Canis or his dog that committed the killing, Knight wouldn't be dead if Canis himself hadn't wanted him to be. My first order of business should be to prove that Canis and Knight knew each other.
Sweet scent.
Objection!
Oh, never mind. Damn it.
There's a contradiction in your statement.
There is there? What do you think, Helmet? Is the man correct? Yes, I see. I'm afraid my friend here fails to see your so-called contradiction.
How am I doing to the Canis' ear to your dog? I just have to find a piece of evidence that will force him to listen to me instead.
Oh! That's the proof he knew him.
Objection!
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Canis. You may have trained your dog to clean up your mess, but some things require a human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board.
What?
The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120. That's on the low end.
That's 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1000. I give up. I mean, what are you even going over that big?
A vanishingly unlikely coincidence is what. Now tell us why you killed Knight. Unless it is, you prefer to explain the coincidence.
say the truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence.
That's totally impossible. We proved that.
A coincidence of a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmet is as surprised as I am. Aren't you, Helmet? Yes, you are. I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, eh, boy? The other prisoners all gone to the yard, but you see, there was a show of some sort, I believe. Here I was, minding my business, when in comes Helmet, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmet take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I'd asked.
The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop.
Indeed he did. Removing it here would have made an awful mess after all.
You know something that makes total sense? Remember what Mr. Sawyer said, Mr. Edgeworth? The huge black dog sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throats.
What did you say?
It was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, the awful beast.
I see. So what Mr. Sawyer actually saw was Helmet removing the murder weapon then?
Precisely. I can't say I wasn't a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy, it's not like you to slip up like that, is it now, There you have it. That's about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most I'm responsible for the removal of the weapon. Now, will that be all? Poor Helmet's growing restless.
Objection!
Sorry, but if you can entertain us for just a little longer, Mr. Canis.
Fender?
No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure you'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place.
He's right. It makes sense that he would want to remove the body to avoid suspicion. Kate had no reason to recover the murder weapon. Excuse me.
So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought.
Please answer the question, Mr. Canis.
It was because of the bell. The one attached to the chisel and the one around Helmet's neck. Have a very distinct design, if you will.
Of course, they're something of a trademark of yours, were they not?
I don't get it. How does that even work?
Bury Harmer Canis, the blind butcher. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear.
You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well.
Your knife and its attached bell were one piece of evidence seized in our case against you.
Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence.
Just two?
Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife, as long as it's been taken from me. When Helmet brought the body to my cell, I was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. First, I was sure my knife had been used to do the deed. But no, a chisel, an ordinary chisel.
Certainly no assassin's blade.
Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement, compounding the matter into the fact I'm the only person in the prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear I'd become the prime suspect, so the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
Hold it!
You still claim all you did was have the dog move the body, that you had nothing to do with the killing?
How could I? I told you the chisel's not mine. You not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth. Might have it checked for fingerprints.
Eustace? Me?
I know how to check for fingerprints.
Get forensics.
Oh, right, it's just your thing. We got 'em, fingerprints, they're Mr. Knight's.
And Mr. Canis's?
No, just Mr. Knight's. And forensics said there's no sign of prints being wiped off.
Only Knight's fingerprints? That isn't good.
Should I get them to check again? Now do you see? I have never so much as touched that chisel. Helmet carried it in his mouth, that's all. Therefore any prints must belong to whoever had it last. So the murder weapon belonged to the victim? Oh, that's not helpful. As I said, I've not touched the chisel. Therefore I cannot be the killer. Do you wish to suggest otherwise?
I've got nothing to counter with. But what could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? He can't be.
I'm sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth. If you don't find a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I'll have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience is a limit. I'll not tolerate you throwing this investigation into chaos. Am I clear?
You've gone and done it now, sir. She's serious.
I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one.
Something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What Mr. Knight would need the chisel for?
You can do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison, for one.
Alright, how do you get it in here? There's no way the guards will let him bring a super sharp tool with him, right, Mr. Edgeworth? After Mr. Edgeworth. You can't stand there hemming and hawing just because of a little setback. The important thing is finding the truth, you know. Doesn't matter how we get there. As long as you save Simone in the end, we can't give up now, whatever.
Yeah, what she said. I'll second that. You run me around with that, Kay. I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. Like I said, the defense never rests. Or rather, like your pop said. What do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses?
The heart of those words.
It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the ones they can turn to. Simone's our client. We're the only ones who can save him. We can't rest, not while he's counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you?
I'm an associate with the defense now. No, I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I've chosen, and that means if I fail to save my client, I've failed in my duties. I will honour my father's vision and save Simone Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I will simply find another.
There we go. That's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Let's find a new path forward. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought the chisel into the prison.
Right. How would Knight have managed to bring a chisel in here?